and it's over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mohammed. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me well, everyone?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, perfect. Well, the first thing, sorry for my English if I make any mistake. I hope you can understand me well. First of all, I would like to thank UCFB for the opportunity to be here with you today. And in the first place, I would like to present myself. I'm a sports marketeer based in Barcelona. I have worked for different companies in the sports sector, including football, motorsports, and my main goal is to improve people's lives through sports. And my focus is on women's football. I decided to focus my career in women's football because it has a lot of potential and it's also very interesting in terms of marketing. As Mohammed said, I currently work for Naru Sports. It's a sports management company, and I'm also involved with projects regarding athletes and events in women's football. Last summer, also, I was in the Netherlands during the Euro. The UEFA Women's Euro was celebrated in the Netherlands, and I had the opportunity to be there as part of the UEFA marketing team. And both from Naru and from the Euros, I will share some data and insights that might be useful for you. So let's get started. My goal for today is to provide you an overview about women's football marketing, so it can be helpful and valuable for the project you are developing. And at the end of the session, we'll have time for questions and answers. So anything you want to ask, we can solve it at the end. This will be the structure of the presentation of today. First, whoops. We'll go back. Okay. Now, first, we're going to talk about the power of stories. We will follow with the focus on who. We'll see what we do at Naru Sports. Fourth place, we'll talk about women's football in Europe, and we will finish with some data and information about the Euro from last year and some conclusions. I would like to start with a video of Iceland, which I think it can be useful for the marketing and communications campaign and project that you're developing, because it touches very interesting insights of women's football. So let's have a look. If the sound is too loud or too low, just let me know, okay?
Okay.
I will put it widescreen.
Wow, mamma, sjáðu. Hún langar oft. Já, ég ætla að prófa. Mamma! Það búið að stela skónum mínum!
Okay. Well, as you saw in this video, there are many feelings or insights that take place, like rage, inequality, fight, but also sacrifice and perseverance and reward in the end. And I think this is the kind of feelings and insights we have to work on to promote women's football, because we can go beyond football. And this example is a very good example because it had a lot of success. This video was launched before the Euros, and it got a lot of attention and awareness for the Iceland women's national team. Let's continue. The power of stories. There's a very good quote that reflects this, which says, it's from Seth Godin, a very well-known marketeer, and he says, "Marketing is no longer about the stuff you make, but about the stories you tell." I think we can give a thought about this quote when we see that many people stay in line in front of the Apple Store when a new iPhone is launched. Why do they stay for a long time there waiting for a new iPhone? Or why do it take so long for us maybe to post a picture on Instagram? It's all about stories. It's about the stories we believe in, and we buy the ideas, products or services or campaigns, or even we get married based on the story we believe. It doesn't matter if something is cheaper, faster, more expensive, slower, red, blue. We will take action if we believe the story that it's behind. So in your case, it's extremely important to design your marketing communications campaign based on a story and building a message that relates to women's football on one insight or a value that can be worked upon. So the first point for me that's very important is to identify and to build a powerful story. Traditionally at school, we have learned that a story has three parts: the beginning, the action, and the end. But we need a more engaging story. We need a more engaging structure, because not all the stories and the messages we receive every day, we pay attention to them. So this is the kind of elements we need. In order to connect with fans or customers or whoever we are aiming your campaign to, I guess that in your case, in women's football, you'll like to aim to any stakeholder of the industry, maybe the players. So you will have to know that stakeholder very well. And we have three parts, three elements from an engaging story. The first one is the hook. We need an attention-grabbing moment, a situation or a disruptive moment. For instance, in the video, it could be when the girl steals the football boots from her brother to play football. In place, we need a plot. We need to define the characters, a bit of drama, suspense, the mystery of not knowing what is going to happen. And going back to the Iceland video, we could tell that the plot is the rage, the frustration, the anger that the players take out from when they remember the moments of their childhood. So that could be the plot. And in the end, we need the resolution. We need the outcome, how the story ends, and the call to action. That, going back again to the video, it could be the main spirit and strength message of don't let adversities prevail. So this could be the three parts of an engaging story, and to create, in the end, a great story. Great story, it has different elements and different characteristics, which are the following. In the first place, it's true. Not because it's factual, but because it's consistent and authentic. A great story makes a promise. It promises an exceptional outcome, something worth to believe in. It's also trusted. We are constantly saturated with messages every day in social media, TV, and over time it's more difficult to pay attention to all the information we receive. So that one where we trust is the one which is worthy and a great story. Also, a great story happens fast. It doesn't need a lot of explanation to get it clear and to get the message at the first glance. And finally, it appeals to feelings. Great stories are aimed to our worldview, to the way we see the world, and it's related more than an emotion or a feeling rather than a rational or a logical idea. In women's football, we have a great opportunity because I saw that in the Netherlands during the Euros that it's a sport that it has unique values like closeness and purpose. So I think that we have to identify what makes women's football different, and what makes it attractive for whatever the stakeholder we are aiming to our social media or communications campaign. And women's football has also a sense of effort and purpose. It has like a social change beyond the sports, and leveraging these values in a communications campaign can be very powerful. Some weeks ago, Nike launched a campaign called Equality, that it was about these values. So obviously each player or national team or club, they will have their own story, but if we can, through a personal approach, if we can appeal to these values, I think we can go beyond football and to connect through a great story. These are pictures from the Netherlands. This is not very common to see in males football. The players too close from the fans, and also obviously in terms of security it's not the same, but women's football is like a family. It's like a close family where the players and the fans might know each other, and when there's a lot of also of opportunity with creativity and actions that can be made among players and fans. So I would advise to build upon these values or try to identify what can make women's football different to structure your communications campaign. Focus on who? There are many levels when we are launching a campaign. First, people, they have to know about you. They have to know about your campaign. Then they have to pay attention and listen to it, and in order to take action in the third place. So we have to be focused on our target. I would say is one of the most important parts of communications and marketing campaign or plan. We have to be obsessed with what our target thinks or does or believes or behaves, so we can design and build a campaign which is fit in a very appropriate way. And for that, research, doing questions, listening and hearing what the market says is key in order to know the best our target. So target focus would be one of the pillars, in my opinion, of a communication campaign. Here we have the life cycle, the product life cycle. It can be related to a product, to a communications campaign, to an idea. We see that there are different stages called introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. And this is related to the presence of an idea or a product in the market. If it's successfully going through the curve, the market will accept it. But if it's a product or an idea that it doesn't appeal to the market, then it will not continue from the first stage. So in this case, we have to focus on the innovators. The innovators are the first ones of the market, are the ones that stay in line in front of the Apple Store to buy a new iPhone, and are the ones that are willing to try a new thing, to listen to a new campaign, and to spread a new idea. So when you define your target market and you define the people you want to appeal your campaign with, you have to think about if they are the appropriate people to spread the campaign, because obviously you will not reach the whole population or the whole market just with the plan, the communications plan that you design. You will need the people to spread the word. So the advice here is to focus on the innovators and to think about which kind of people can be attracted by the idea, and to get involved in spreading the. So for that we need an insight. we need to look for a feeling, a situation, an uncomfortable aspect, or anything that it can be an intense feeling that make people very happy or very sad. So if we are able to identify that, we can set a campaign focus on that, and that will obviously depend on who you are aiming with to. Okay, so let's jump into Naru Sports. Naru Sports is a sports management agency based here in Barcelona, and focused on creating sports experiences to make a remarkable impact on society. The word Naru means to grow, to become, to reach in Japanese, and this is the philosophy we have at the agency with our clients and the projects we are involved with, to make them grow and to make them become what they want to become. The origin of Naru Sports goes back to an experience, a situation when we detected a lack of equality and opportunity for women. And the company was born after the disappointment of a girls' team who were not allowed to play in a boys' camp. So this insight, this situation where these girls were not allowed to play, it was the trigger, it was the opportunity that led Naru Sports birth. Our mission is the following: is to build opportunities in sports where women can reach their full potential, and we do that through different areas. First one is branding, also through events, sports events, education, and consultancy. Regarding to branding, we have an area focused on designing communication strategies that is focused mainly on athletes, and our main goal is to connect these athletes to fans, to brands and media that ultimately can generate a positive change in society. Here you see Lina Rodic. Lina Rodic is a player for FC Barcelona and is an athlete. Well, it's an athlete who we are working with, and we are developing her social media strategy. Also, we are looking for sponsors, and we have recently started to work with her, and our main goal is to develop a brand that can connect with fans, brands and media, and that we can push women's football forward. Secondly, we have events. We create sports experiences with a focus on women. We try to provide a platform where teams or players where they can maximize their potential, both personally and in the sports area. And in the picture you can see the FC Barcelona Girls Camp that we organized, and last year it was the first edition, and we got a lot of good feedback from the girls. Most of them were from United States, and this is another area we work in, developing and creating these experiences where girls and women can find opportunities to grow as a person and as a player too. We also have an education area. We say education because we provide to Spanish young athletes the opportunity to go to the United States with the scholarships, so they can attend to good universities and keep doing sports and studying at the same time. And our main goal in this area is to provide them the chance to make the jump from personal, academic and sports level. And finally, we have consultancy, where we analyze the viability of sports projects, and we try to coordinate the good strategy to make them a reality, and to find that ones that are useful and are a good project to make sports advance, and especially women's sports. Let's talk about women's football in Europe. For my blog, I regularly create content and also benchmarks and studies where I try to analyze how women's football is is based in Europe and how is performing. So I will share with you some of the data and the conclusions I drew from some of the studies. Here we have a study of social media and sponsorship that I carried out it was from 2016 to 2017, and it had a look on sponsorship and social media globally in Europe. We see that the main sponsorship sectors are the public sector, airlines, and insurances. I mean, it's not a coincidence that we saw that in the video of Iceland. Icelandair, which was the partner, it's the sponsor of the women's national team. It was the main brand that supported this campaign. In the social media ranking, I have to congratulate England because you are at the first place in social media regarding the clubs. And the English league is also far ahead from Germany, France, or Spain, because in terms of women's football, the clubs, they have been traditionally they have been active from earlier, so they have been more years working on their brands, their images, and social media, and obviously they also leverage synergies from the males team, like Arsenal ladies or Chelsea. We have Tottenham Hotspur. We have many teams that they use the males team to support the women's. And for me, the best one is Manchester City. And I don't know, maybe you have seen the campaign of Same City, Same Passion. For me, it's incredible. It's brilliant. And this is the kind of campaigns that make English women's football be at the top. Regarding the technical sponsors, Nike is the leading brand, followed by Adidas with 30%. In terms of national or international partners, women's football is mostly supported by national partners from the same country. And globally, the average stadium capacity is a bit more than 6,000. And most of the teams, they have a men's team. If we have a look in England, we see that that airlines, they are the first sponsorship sector, which is more common, like Fly Emirates, but we also have insurance and beauty, like Avon with Liverpool ladies. In terms of social media ranking, Arsenal is the one that wins the battle, is the first one at the table, followed by Manchester City and Chelsea. And I mean, these are pretty good numbers regarding the time they have been working on their social media, on their brand. And it's also a great benchmark for countries like Spain, Germany, or France to look up to England to learn how they develop social media and how they try to push their women's team from a perspective where they combine efforts and synergies with the male's team. Regarding a technical sponsor, here is Adidas in England, the brand that leads the market, followed by Nike with 20%. And the national partners, this is very curious that only the 5% are brands that are from England or from United Kingdom. And this also, I think it's a number that tells us that the way or the situation where women's football has advanced in England, because if international brands are so interested in women's football in England, is because it has a potential and impact that goes far beyond England. The stadium capacity, it's also a bit more of 6,000, and all the teams have a men's team in the women's football league. So that's also a number that tells us that probably these teams are the ones that have a budget that is bigger, so the other ones struggle to. There's a bit of a dilemma with the clubs that they have a men's team, or they have both a men's team and a women's team, or the one just 100% women's team, because the ones that are 100% women's team, they do have that budget that is that big. So we will see in the future how they can adapt or if they can follow the other ones. Regarding the players, here we have the ranking of the top 10 players in social media. The first one is Tony Duggan. she was playing for Manchester City, and this season she joined FC Barcelona. And we see that the main countries where the top players come in social media are from England, France, and well, there's also one from the Netherlands, Lieke Martins. Lieke Martins was the best, and is the best because she's best. And also Alexia Putellas from Spain. And in the map on the right, we can see the clubs where they play for, where also England it has a big role, an important role with Arsenal, Manchester City and Liverpool. And in France, we have Olympique de Lyon, Montpellier, and also Paris. And in Spain, FC Barcelona. If we have a look at the countries which have more followers on social media, England is the first one, followed by France and the Netherlands. And in my study that I carried out to take out this data, I drew up some conclusions that Instagram is the platform that it's been growing a lot, but still Facebook is the platform with the highest average follows per platform. And most of the players, they use Instagram, and they have an average engagement of 12,000 likes, and they tend to be a bit old in terms of sports because they are 29 years old. And the main conclusion from here is that we have the main countries of England and France, that they are very strong in women's football in Europe. And it's also a surprise to see Germany in the 5th place, because they are also one of the main markets in women's football, but they have not worked maybe not so well or so intensively on the social media area, so they are on the 5th place. Let's talk about the Euro. What is the marketing team doing there? As I told you, I was there in the Netherlands within the UEFA marketing team, and in this section I would like to share with you the main actions and the main role we had within the team. Where the first part was about branding. This is one of the most important areas in such a big sports event like the UEFA Women's Euro, because first of all, we have to take care about the Euro, the branding of the Euro, making sure that all the visual signs, the stadium, or also the toilets, the standings, the parking, everything is according to the branding that is concerned and written by UEFA. And on the other hand, we have to take care about sponsors. We have to make sure that all the rights that are acquired by sponsors, such as Carlsberg, Adidas, Coca-Cola, Crea, they are being shown in the correct way, so we have to protect them. And especially when we know that it's 7 times easier to retain an existing sponsor than to attract a new one. So it's very important to take care of them and to protect these assets they have acquired, like the image in the boards of the stadium, outside the stadium, press conference backdrop, all these kind of assets. And so regarding this, it's very important the location and the visibility of these assets, so they can have the highest return of investment, and they will want to renew the next season. In the 3rd place, we had to make sure that also the sponsors of NAC Breda, which was the Dutch club there in the Netherlands, that they were not, on the one side, they were not competition, and on the other side, they didn't affect the awareness and impact of the Euro sponsors. And finally, we also care about ambush marketing. I don't know if you have studied this concept. Ambush marketing, it refers to the illegal practice of a company when it tries to associate its brand or products with an event that already has its own sponsors. So it's an illegal practice. And before the games and during the games, you have to make sure that opportunistic brands, they were not trying to get associated with the image of the Euro. Here we have some pictures. This is the tunnel where the players came up to the pitch with the branding of the Euro. This is a very good place to, well, a very important place to take care of, because before the game the cameras and TV cameras are here, because the protagonists and the main characters are here, the players. So it's a very important place. Here we have the press conference room, with the backdrop, with the board in front, and also with the product placement by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola in the Netherlands, they distribute the Coke, obviously, and also a brand of water. So we had to display correctly the bottles in front of the media, so they can appear, and also in the backdrop with all the sponsors. Here we have the flash zone interview. This is a place where the players come right just after the game, before they head to the dressing rooms, and here media are waiting for them to talk about how the game went, and to give some impressions about the game. Here's the hospitality and VIP area. As you see, there's a Carlsberg brand that is here at the bar. And here we had a big job trying to hide because the NAC Breda, the club in the Netherlands, they have a very big beer sponsor, and the brand is everywhere. So Carlsberg had to be instead of that partner, and replacing all the elements or all the visuals that were referred to the Dutch sponsor with the Carlsberg brand. Here we have the main entrance of the stadium, where the identity visuals and like the logo of the club and also the historical elements, they could stay, but we had to also to brand all the main entrance with the branding of the Euro, with the signs of VIP entrance, mixed zone entrance. To do all this, there's a big team from UEFA. It's around from 10 to 15 people that they cover all the stadium, and they do it very fast. And because imagine that when there's a Champions League game, for instance, in Etihad Stadium, the UEFA team goes there, I don't know, maybe 3 or 2 days ago, 2 days before the game, and they have to paint all the stadium with the UEFA Champions League colors and visuals. So they have a lot of experience in that, and they do that in big sports events like this as well. Here we have a picture of a game. It was Sweden and Germany. We had like 9,000 people in the stadium, and there are so many elements that take place in here, like in the benches, as you see. You see on the top of the picture, there's like a black tape covering. It was covering the local sponsors. They were not competition, but we had to cover them because they affected the UEFA, the Euros sponsors on TV. Because the TV always, most of the times is set on the main tribune, so we had to take care of that. And you can see also the boards on the pitch and the boards behind the goals. There are thousands of places we have to be aware of to protect and to make sure our sponsors got the best and the highest return of investment. So sponsorship is also one of the most important and interesting areas in a big sports event, and also for clubs, and especially because many activations take place during the tournament, and our job here was to again protect and to make sure they had the most brand visibility, but also according to their investment. The brands that are investing the most are the ones that have to appear the most in social media, on TV, and in all the platforms. So we had to also take care of that hierarchy and to that importance of partners within the whole set of partners. In the Euro, we have the main sponsors, which were Intersport, Kia, Carlsberg, Coca-Cola, the ones you saw in the backdrop. And I wanted to share some pictures with you about the activations of the partners. Here we can see an activation from Kia. where outside the stadium they had entertainment activities, most of them for kids, and where they could have their face painted with the colors of the national team they were supporting. Here we have another activation where this was a funny one when you could there was like a machine that was calculating the speed of the ball when you kicked it. So you could kick the ball and it told you the speed of the ball. And I mean, apart from that, they had also display with the product, with cars, and there they had staff ready to talk about well, the advantages and the characteristics of the cars. We also had Intersport as the official fan shop, and they were responsible for selling the official merchandising of the Euros. And they placed this mobile shop outside the stadium before each game, and they sold t-shirts, scarves, official match balls, jumpers, bags. Coca-Cola was also one of the partners, and Coca-Cola was dedicated to sell the refreshment, the water and the Coke for the fans. And finally, Carlsberg. Carlsberg, they decided to acquire the right to sponsor the Carlsberg player of the match. So this was activated in the semifinals and during the finals, where they handed the trophy to the best player of the match, and they had its own repercussion and diffusion through social media, through also the stadium and at the press conference in front of the media. So it was also a nice activation to follow and to make sure it was done in an appropriate way. Then we have the youth programs. The youth programs, this is a special opportunity to provide children with a unique experience to live the game very close to the protagonists, to the idols. So it's a way of taking care about the future generations. And as you might think, there's a huge job behind it. When you see it on TV, it looks easy, it looks fast and very easy to coordinate, but it's not. We had more than 70 children. This is also a task of marketing to coordinate the youth programs and the kids. We had from player escorts, the ball kids, official match ball carrier, center circle carriers, and we had to make sure that everything happened on time and following the schedule we had. So this was also a task that we had to be careful of, because it's also the introduction and the presentation of the game, and with the anthems of each national team, it had to be done in a very precisely regarding time, a very precisely way. So let's go to the conclusions of the presentation. First, cook a nice story. We have seen that it's very important to think about the story, how we want to design and to build it, and this is the main element through which you can engage and to connect with the audience you are trying to target. Secondly, focus on who. We have to be obsessed about the target market we want to reach. We have to know them the best and know how they think, how they behave. And lastly, go beyond football. Women's football provides us an opportunity to go beyond football, to focus on values as closeness and purpose, and attract this kind of segment with values that we cannot find in males teams and males football. So this is a great opportunity. And to finish, I would like to show you another video. This is an activation campaign between Gatorade and AB Wambach. AB Wambach, she's retired now, but she was a legend in the United States in women's football. And this is a great example also of a good story told through an athlete and with strong values behind. Oops.
Forget me. Forget my number. Forget my name. Forget I ever existed. Forget the medals won, the records broken, and the sacrifices made. I want to leave a legacy where the ball keeps rolling forward, where the next generation accomplishes things so great that I am no longer remembered. So, forget me. Because the day I'm forgotten is the day we will succeed.
Well, not here. um, well, as you have seen, this campaign is, I think, it's very engaging because it uses the argument of the message of focusing on the next generations. And when people forget about A.B. Wambach, the legend, that would mean that women's football is very strong. So that's it. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it can be useful for you to design and to develop your communications strategy and your plan. And well, as Mohammed said, I will show you my blog. This is a website where I generate content regarding women's football, where I try to help professionals in women's football with content related to marketing, to sponsorship, to strategy, and regarding this aspect, I would be very happy if you would like to contribute designing or creating content. I have an area of a blog where I post all these articles. I have also videos of webinars, speeches, free resources of these are the studies and analysis research that I do in women's football, and also the conclusions that I told you about I have took them from these projects, so you can download them if you find them useful, and that's it. If you want to contribute, I would be very happy, and also to have your participation, so I'm open for it. And well, if you have any question, I would be very happy to answer them, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Xavi.
Welcome.
I'm just going to turn this off. So let me just stop this. Just give us a moment.
Yeah, sure.
Let's cover this anyway. Okay, do you want to stop sharing the screen because we can see each
Sure.
other? Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, that's better.
Great.
You crash there. You've stopped there. You've just frozen.
No, I think, I stopped sharing the screen.
Okay.
Is it okay? Yeah.
Yeah, we can't see you on video.
No?
No. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, great.
Okay. Thank you very much for that insightful talk on women's football. I'm going to open the questions up to the students. So you've got a assignment 2 coming up for women's football. Have you got any questions for Xavi regarding your campaigns? Because you've got 3 strands: play, watch, and attend. So this is your opportunity to ask any questions, even if it's not regarding women's football. You can still ask Xavi about his agency and so on, and content on his website, and maybe how to gain traffic. Any questions you've got regarding agencies or women's football? Yes, Jake. Do you want to address Xavi? Because you won't be to hear from that. You'll have to come. Just let him know your name.
Hi, I'm Jacob. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You were mentioning about scholarships. I was just wondering if your agency or a third party agency helps like get the scholarship in the third place.
Our job there is we contact to universities in the United States. We try to define which ones are the best for each sport, because we have athletes that play football, that play basketball, many sports, and we try to define which university can fit the best for each student. And also we try, also with what I was saying about the target, we try to know the most about these athletes, which kind of state, or how do, also regarding lifestyle, personal life, how do they want to live. We try to find the university and state that it's more according to the athlete. And also we have a look at the goals that they have. If they want to, maybe in basketball there's a stronger league at the east side of the United States in university level. So we have also a look to that aspect. And in this case, the most important thing is to see the potential. We don't want to lie athletes. We want them to achieve good results, because that is a win-win relationship. So we want them to reach their potential there in the United States, and we want to be honest also if they can reach that in a university or not. So finding the good university for them is also a very good pillar of the project. And thank you for your question.
Thank you. Any more?
Hi Xavi, I'm Max. I was wondering what you would say the main challenges in getting people to attend women's football more regularly.
Cool. Thank you, Max, for your question. This is a very good question, because if we don't have fans at the stadium, sponsors, they don't want to invest in women's football. If we don't have people in the stadium and sponsors don't want to invest, we don't have TVs interested in broadcasting women's football. So it's like a circle, and we have to fight and to overcome. And in my opinion, there's a big opportunity to be creative. Imagine after a game doing an event with players and fans. I mean, we can do that, and because I think we have to boost and to reinforce the concept of a family. And there are many events and creative ideas that can be done in women's football, and also for brands. If we can activate actions with brands for the fans before, during, and after the game, we can design a great experience and a better experience for them. We can see that, the Premier League in England is a very good example of that. There's a lot of activation done during and after the game, and that would make this to provide a great experience for fans. We can do that as well in women's football. And there's also another alternative that it's being applied more and more, which is combining the males team with the women's team. For instance, here in Barcelona, the club, when it's possible, they try to make, for instance, at 4 o'clock the males team, and at 3 o'clock or at 2 the women's team. So trying to sell or trying to promote both at the same time, it's a good idea to give more power to the women's side. And there's also actions like doing the official photography of the team both together. Here, if you put Leo Messi next to the girls, to the women's team, that's a huge synergy that can be leveraged. So using both sides, the males and the women's team, it's also a good aspect. And especially if we saw that 100% of the teams in England, they have a males club, and I guess that also a bigger social media impact. And yes, I think that creativity and using the males team, these are two very powerful ways to promote social media, TV and sponsorship, and also fan attendance in women's football.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? Yeah.
Hi, Xavi. Just
Hello.
a quick one about Manchester United. arguably the biggest club in the world, without a women's team. What do you think it'll take to make Man United have a women's team, and if and when they do, what will be, in your opinion, the effect on the women's game?
Yes, I think we have some examples of clubs like Manchester United, like Real Madrid. They don't have a women's team either. And for Manchester United, I think that, they are losing a bit of track because Manchester City is doing very well with women's football. I understand them if they don't want to step, because I think if you start with a women's team, you have to do it well. It's not to do it in a way that can be poorly done. It's not the best. And also, I mean, to be honest, women's football is an investment that in the short term is not profitable. So in the end, we have to put the money and to put the time and the resources when we can get the most out of it. But it's also true that there's a demand. That's a market that is demanding women's football, also in Manchester. And I think it's a need that they will have to cover at any time. But I understand if they want to do it in a more precise or thought or with to do it well. And I think in 5-10 years we will see all the main clubs like Manchester United and Real Madrid. They will have their own women's football team because it's responding to the market. If you're a football club, why do you have to respond to the demand of the women's side? And that's also an opportunity to relate, to associate your brand with CSR, with the social, and with this side, and which, as I said again, is not profitable in the short run, but it is in the long run. So I think it's a good opportunity they have to invest, also done in a good way. But I think it's also a requirement from the market that clubs have to attend.
Thank you. Any more questions?
If I can give a piece of advice, I would suggest them to go to watch a game, women's football. They will see that it's different, and they will see at the first glance also the purity, and it's a sport that it's I don't know if it's more fair, but I think it's more pure and it has its own attractive. And I think this could be the first thing to do with this project, to go to attend to a Manchester City or to a game of women's football to see what it is like, and then I think they will have a better understanding of the sport.
Thank you very much, Xavi. Let's show appreciation for Xavi again.
Thank you.
Thoroughly enjoyed that, and thank you for your insight into women's football. And hopefully we'll be in touch with you again. And if you've got any questions from students, we'll make sure we pass them on to you. And also, I'll get all the students to follow you as well on Twitter.
Great. Yeah, sure.
Okay, Xavi, thank you very much.
Thank you. Keep in touch and see you soon.
Okay, thank you. We'll be in touch.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.